The following program is sponsored by Happy Science. Hello, and thank you for accepting our invitation to happiness. I'm Mariko, and I'm here with my friends.
Hi, I'm Yushi.
Hi, I'm Dylan.
And we're here to bring you episode 5 of Invitation to Happiness, where we'll be exploring the secrets of healing power.
Secrets of healing power. That sounds very interesting.
Yes. But before we dive into today's subject, let's go to the streets of New York and ask the question, do you believe that faith can cure illness?
No, I don't think so. I think it mostly has to do with science.
In a sense, yeah, but like, if a arm cuts off, I can't hope another one grows back or, have it, so.
I think really we participate, so if we don't believe we're going to get better, we're not going to get better. So in a sense, faith is absolutely part of healing.
Yes, but I wouldn't call it faith. I would call it the unexplicable. And miracles, if you want to define them as, having a spiritual origin.
Faith can cure anything. The trouble with that is most of us human beings find it hard to believe in something that's strong enough.
Wow, I really like that last comment.
Totally.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
It's so true. He said, people have a hard time believing, and that's one of the problems.
Yeah, and we at Happy Science, of course, we've seen so many miracles of healing illnesses. It's like a commonplace for us, right?
Yep.
Before I became a member, I wouldn't believe in these kinds of things. So you have to see it to believe it.
And that's so true. And I guess that's like a gift from God. Miracles, they help you either strengthen your faith or help you have a curiosity that, wait, faith is some kind of a factor that helps you healing illnesses. And that's how it was for me. To begin this episode, let us watch Master's lecture excerpt from The Power to Make Miracles.
What we are discovering is that this world is so much bigger than what we are taught in our school education. The world is full of miracles. If you are able to get that enlightenment and grasp who you really are, then what you thought is absolutely impossible will become possible and happen before your eyes. Today, it is increasingly difficult for people who are involved in the most advanced fields of work and study to develop a pure and open heart. Your knowledge stands as an obstacle that blocks the pipeline of communication with heaven. They have developed horizontal connections to communicate with others on earth, but their phone line to communicate with heaven is not working. Through a number of spiritual messages and other spiritual phenomena, I have been proving the existence of a phone line between heaven and earth. At first, I was the only one who could show this, but recently my disciples have also begun to learn to do it as well. In principle, creating a connection between heaven and earth is not difficult. You simply need to accept Buddha's truths. In addition to that, just as light will not shine through a dirty window, the dirt and grime that gets on the window of our mind while we live in this world must be cleared away with self-reflection. When we increase the clarity of our mind with self-reflection, the light of heaven will shine through.
By making our mind clear through self-reflection and meditation, we can start receiving power from the heavenly world. I'm sure you two have experienced it so often here at our seminars, our meditation retreats, or our overseas seminars as well.
Definitely. And thanks for mentioning self-reflection. Self-reflection is so important to purify our minds, right? And it's kind of like digging into your mind and cleaning up those bad or dark thoughts that you've had in the past. And sometimes here in Happy Science, you know how we have a cleaning discipline? So we clean the temple, and while we're cleaning, we're thinking inside our minds, we're also cleaning our minds or our past mistakes.
if you can think of yourself in an ocean and there's waves, you're trying to keep above water and you're really paddling, and in a way you're making it worse. And if you have an illness or something that you can't resolve, if you think about it way too much, you become too analytical. Then you can't, becoming too analytical also deprives light from coming into you. Sometimes when you just sit still, you will rise to the surface. Our bodies are capable of floating. Just be natural, in other words. So I think it's really important to, have that time to stay calm and really allow light to come in instead of searching it and pulling it in, but just letting it fall into you.
My comment on that is that's so true, but also easier said than done, right? While you're in the midst of in that illness, especially in these kind of times, it's so hard to keep a calm mind. And that's why I'm so thankful to Master that he gave us this sutra, the true word spoken by Buddha. This sutra really, even in the midst of deep hardships, it calms you down like magic. So next up is a video, a testimony from one of our members from Mongolia.
In 2013, I had an illness on my skin which covered my entire body, and I suffered from it for 6 years. Doctors told me that medical science cannot cure this illness. In April this year, I went to the Happy Science Center in Mongolia and had been introduced to spiritual discipline. Since then, I began to recite the true words spoken by Buddha. Every morning, I prayed ardently to the Lord and recited the sutra. And it's funny, from July, my skin illness began to disappear progressively. I would say 70% has gone away. So I was convinced I would be getting better. Then every morning, I have been participating in prayer and meditation at the Happy Science Center with other members and living a life of faith. My illness was actually getting better and better, and now has totally disappeared. This illness is called psoriasis. I found that Mr. Rockefeller of the US had the same illness. I think the origin of the illness in my case was that my soul became dirty and lost good control of my body. And then I met Happy Science and continued my spiritual discipline under the teachings of Lord Alcantara, Master Okawa. So my soul has been cleaned up, I believe. At the center, we have a great Gohanzon, the altar. When I pray before it, I feel a warm breeze embracing and warming up my body. I felt that often.
What a touching testimony. And you can be next. You can be the next one to experience this miracle.
My mother recently broke her hip and was in the hospital, and the doctors and the physical therapists were so impressed with her healing. My mom was just like sunshine in the entire hospital, and the nurses were excited to see her. So, we created this kind of spiritual atmosphere in that room, and I think in that way, the nurses too can see the differences between people who have faith and people who don't. So it's really a decision that you have to make. Do you believe in your body, or do you just believe in what they tell you about your body?
The next lecture we're going to watch is called Revive Your Health, The Definite Way to Health. Let's take a look.
Although modern people are surely unable to believe this, in the religion of ancient Egypt, something called regeneration was performed. To explain exactly what this art of regeneration was, let us say, for example, your hand was cut off in a battle or whatever and is lost. Regeneration can be used to regrow this cut-off lost hand. Surprising, I know. No one would believe this nowadays. When I looked into this spiritually,
霊的に調べてみた結果はですね、いわゆ
I
る
found that they had used what is known as crystal
クリスタルパワ
power.
ーというのをどうも使っているようでありました。で
They seem to have used power from crystal pyramid-like
ピ
structures.
ラミッドパワーとそれと、術師
The healer, the one who performed the healing, had something much like a caduceus staff,
頭
the head of which was made of crystal, which was used to perform the healing.
直してるみたいなんですね。でこれは
Whether an arm grows back or a leg grows back is easily
これ
visible,
はすぐ分かることですから。
meaning if this were some sort of trick, it would have been quickly
お
exposed.
そらくそういう術は
So this technique most likely did exist.
その根源はどうも
This healing technique apparently has its roots in the age of Atlantis,
あったようでそこから
and then it entered into Egypt from there, and then faded out of use from an unspecified point. In all likelihood, people unable to believe in it increased. Even among animals such as lizards, some have the power to regrow lost parts of their bodies. So I don't believe that such an ability is completely impossible for humans. There are creatures with the power to regrow their legs, arms, tails. So the possibility of humans also being a creature having this ability certainly cannot be zero. It is simply dormant. Long forgotten, people no longer believe it can be done. They can't do it because they also collectively believe that it can't be done. If the original blueprint for a human, a design that allows a tiny thing such as a fusion of the sperm and egg to grow into such a large complete body, exists at a genetic level, if such a schematic does exist inside your body, should any part, internal organs, bones, brain, skull, or arms and legs, were to become useless due to sickness or any reason during your life, if the DNA truly holds this original schematic, the human body should also possess the power to simply put this to work and regenerate that part. If you can draw out this power of regeneration, it will become your power to heal. Curing illness with faith occurs in religions from every corner of the world. But thoughtful doctors also recognize that curing illness with faith do happen in real life. The reason is because when you have strong faith, passionate faith, your immune function rises to the fore. Your immune system grows stronger. This power of faith has a power to transform your own future. It gives you the courage and confidence to live. It also gives you the power to persevere and to endure. What happens then is that this power becomes a part of the cells in your body. It begins to rejuvenate each and every cell, making your power of immunity very strong. So if there is someone who is sick right now, please send out power to yourself, to your entire body, with the power of faith. Think strongly. This body is a factory that is producing new cells every day, replacing old cells and remaking them into new ones. You fall sick because your factory is churning out many defective pieces. Naturally, you have to change them into better ones. So instruct your subconscious. Think to yourself, I will, in the name of faith, lead a splendid life. For the sake of the world and humanity, I will live out my life doing good for others. So give me power. Strongly think this. That is very important.
Believe in your body because God made it. It's amazing. Therefore, we already have that power inside. He said it's lying dormant, which is so empowering.
I guess like believing is the wake-up call for that dormant power. Like you can't use science to wake that up. It's faith that wakes up that dormant power. And it's so easy yet so hard? Why do human beings make this such a simple act so hard?
Well, he says earlier, it's because we have this education
Oh, God.
that's completely opposite to it.
For me, faith has an aspect of making me humble and to accept this power. And I think being humility is such an important aspect of, how should I say this?
Yeah, it clears the pipes to be able to receive the light.
And thanks for talking about the pipe, because the next video we'll be watching, it's about how meditation heals you. But meditation is like, connecting a pipe to heaven. So let's learn more about it from Master Okawa.
できればですね、あと
Please know that your true nature is the spirit body.
ということを知っていただいて、そしてその
Gradually de-emphasize the role your body plays.
小さく見て霊体の
And think strongly that you are in essence your spirit body.
その霊
In addition, every night before you go to sleep, meditate on the spirit body as a golden orb,
金色の玉のような霊体かけることのない
on your true self as a spirit body that is like a perfectly round golden orb.
毎日
Please meditate on this before you sleep at night. Your spirit body being like a golden orb means that it is perfect and flawless. I would like you to maintain the image that your spirit body is essentially the precious life given by God, and that it is a perfect, flawless golden mass, a golden orb.
そういうイメージをできるだけ持っていただきたいんですね。そういう
By maintaining this image, you can repel any illnesses,
何でもいい
any kind of illness at all, from the top of your head to the soles of your feet.
あらゆる病
You will be able to fight back every illness. This self-image as a golden orb is your true nature as a spirit body.
霊体としての本当の
When you die and return to the other world, you'll retain a human form for a while.
最終的に
However, when you awaken to a higher enlightenment,
上がっていくときにはそういう
you will become a form of light, energy, shining in gold, like the golden orb. That is your true form. As you practice picturing your true form in this way,
なされますといろんな
you'll gradually develop resistance to various illnesses,
抵抗力
or the ability to recover from them.
くると思いますね。
When I was working as a cancer researcher, I was culturing, growing cancer cells every day for my experiment. And cancer cells are quite fragile. I also cultured the normal cell by the cancer cells, and I was amazed finding out that the normal cells are very tough. Even though I let them sit in the incubator for 3 weeks without taking any care of them, they're alive. But the cancer cell, if I skip replacement of the media, even a single day, they all just die. So I was not sure how this could be applied in the physical body. But after I became a Happy Science staff member, and I was told by Master Okawa, the founder of Happy Science, that cancer can be easily disappear. So I thought, yeah, exactly. It's vulnerable. So I just simply believed that the cancer can disappear. One time when I was working as a branch manager in Japan, one of Happy Science member's sister who got the ovary cancer came to see me at the temple, and she complained. So I told her, don't worry, it's cancer. Cancer will just disappear. And then she was hospitalized, and for 2 or 3 weeks before she actually got the surgical operation, and the doctor just opened her belly and found nothing and sutured back. And then I asked, why did it happen to you? And she just simply told me, because you told me it will just disappear, that I just simply believed, Well, actually what she did was she brought in the altar, gohonzon, what we call gohonzon. It's a symbol of our faith, which can connect to the primordial Buddha or God. She prayed through the gohonzon, and she recited the the true words spoken by Buddha every day, many times a day, and waited for getting surgery. And doctor found no cancer in her body. Actually, beside of this recitation and the pray to Gohonzon, she actually did what we call self-reflection. She tried to eliminate negative thoughts out of her mind, say grudge, hatred, or the not being able to forgive people. I told her that the true cause of cancer resides in your soul, mind, and those negative thoughts create cancer. So she did recitation of the true words spoken by Buddha, pray to Gohonzon, and eliminate negative thought. And the cancer just disappears because of her strong faith. I think everybody can realize this miracle. It's not a miracle, it's a science, I believe.
And I really love what the testimony Mr. Sunada said. He said cancer cells are fragile. And he also said that your normal cells are really tough. You can leave them unattended for 3 weeks and they'll still be vibrant and healthy, which is so interesting.
In Happy Science, Master has taught us not only the way to cure illnesses, but also repel illnesses, including infectious diseases, which includes COVID-19. So in the next video, we'll be learning from Master how to increase our immunity through faith.
If you believe in God and practice His teachings every day, it will increase your immunity. Even if a malignant virus or bacteria enters your body, your white blood cells become extraordinarily more active. To combat the germs and viruses. Your body has such a system where the white blood cells combat and eat up the malignant invader. The power of meditation can be effective too. There is a meditation where you see yourself enveloped with golden butter. It's the golden butter meditation. You imagine a block of butter on top of your head. This butter is golden and it gradually melts and seeps into you, on your skin and into your organs and everywhere, even into your bone marrow. You can fight against viruses with this meditation. The golden butter is granted by Buddha, and you put that on top of your head. And it gradually melts and seeps into your body. If you do this meditation many times or every day, the light will fill you, helping you defeat viruses. Happy Science has released many music CDs. Anything in which I'm involved as a songwriter and composer has been received from heaven. So their melodies contain the vibration of heaven. Just playing back these songs makes your spiritual body be in tune with a heavenly vibration. I truly recommend you to have time for listening to them. You can play them in the car. You would be more resistant to the infection. The viruses dislike them. Apparently, they dislike them and start to run away. Previously, when my daughter caught the measles, not the coronavirus, I felt tiny viruses moving en masse. When I tried to touch them, I felt these little tiny entities moving around. So I played the CD of the true words spoken by Buddha, and they actually started to run away. They don't like it, so it works. All viruses are not so different. They run away from what they dislike. Even viruses can understand what they like and what they dislike. It works when they're in places they aren't meant to be in. Please use religious power for you to survive.
Religious power, we can use this to help us survive. And Master Okawa's vibrations through his lectures are so powerful, right? So we actually have a lecture. It's called How to Strengthen Your Immunity. And by listening to this lecture, our mind becomes attuned to the melodies of heaven. Our spirit body starts glowing, and that we can start to repel illnesses and diseases.
Well, thanks for saying the melody of heaven, because when we were watching that video we just saw, I'm sure everyone noticed the song, the composition that came up, the thunder.
Right.
It's a composition that Master wrote.
The fact that the modern day savior is also composing music, which for any musician out there is basically audible energy, right? So if you understand the power of energies, music is so important. But this song in particular, oh my gosh, it sounds like a Oscar award-winning soundtrack.
It's got a whole story in it.
Yeah, it has a climax, you hear the battle happening, you see the clouds and the light coming down, and then you see the sprouts of new hope, you know, and to be able to do this every day at just the play of a button is so healing.
And I just have to add, this music was composed with a specific intention, which is to repel COVID-19. I think it's really needed in the world right now, and you're one click away from that, listening to that music. You can get it on like all these
iTunes, on Amazon,
right,
Spotify.
Yeah.
A modern day savior is giving us so many weapons to overcome illness, which is a big part of human suffering in these times. I hope you enjoyed all of these lectures.
If you would like to learn more about Okawa and the teachings of happy science, visit invitationtohappiness.org or call us at 929-323-4737.
Once again, thank you for accepting our invitation to happiness. In our next episode, we'll be exploring the topic of the right mind, the shared message of all religions. See you next time.
The preceding program was sponsored by Happy Science.